Hello, everybody. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. What's going on, everyone? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing fine. Please, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like if you can possibly do that for me. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Guys, thank you so much. Now, there never is a day in regards to being a Man United fan where it's quiet, where there's no news, etc., etc. These days, there's always news in regards to Man United. There's always something going on, not least about the ownership. Now, rumours are spreading in regards to Manchester United that Qatar have not given up hope in purchasing Manchester United. Of course, Qatar pulled out of the bidding process in 2023, but Sheikh Jassim Hamid's entourage, his team, are said to be still interested in acquiring Manchester United. Rumours are circulating that there are murmurs of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's regret in regards to purchasing Manchester United, and some may even say that he regrets putting a 25%, even a 25% ownership in the football club, and maybe wants to pull out of a deal and sell his shares. Guys, this is interesting. Qatar could still be interested in Manchester United. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is feeling the heat, maybe. Maybe he's feeling the heat. And we did tell him, we did warn him. I mean, one of the biggest things for me is that I'm seeing a lot of people who supported Ineos. I've seen a lot of people online who support Ineos blindly. They throw out all these human rights and, state-owned malarkey crap that they keep throwing out and stuff like that. When this isn't about politics, guys, this is about football. What we're doing on the football pitch. What do we do on the football pitch? We're not winning at the moment. We're actually being quite crap. Now, if Jim Ratcliffe can't handle the heat, tell him to get in the kitchen. It's as simple as that. That's what I would say, because we all knew that this was going to be a big task. This was going to be a big project, and this required a lot of money to fix. But Jim Ratcliffe coming in with his ego and his vanity, thinking he could be the hero of Man United. Oh, really? Did he? Or did he just think that, it's a perfect chance to make some money, even though he's got enough money? These people, they don't care about the Man United fan base. Man United fans have got to stop, hounding people in regards to the ownership. Qatar were coming into Man United. It was partly the fans' fault that we hounded Qatar out of the football club. Like we're trying to hound Amarim out of the football club. It's like we're trying to hound Dorgu out of the football club. It's what we do all the time. What we need to do is understand, despite the differences between Qatar and the Manchester United fan, despite the cultural differences, they are still Manchester United fans. Of course, the Qatar entourage is a Manchester United fan. So what we need to do is hope that they do. There is a chance. There is a chance, of course. Of course, there is a couple of chances in 2027. There's going to be a chance to acquire the football club. I really hope they do, because, right, even now we're looking at things and we're, since the Glazers have taken charge, we're like, when's our next penny coming from? We're searching under the sofa for a penny. Where's a penny? Where are we going to get the money from? Where's it coming from? We need some more money. We can't find the pennies, at the end of the day. Goodness me. Good evening, Sanjay. How you doing? Big up, my friend. How you doing, my friend? The big boy guns. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Natty, good afternoon, my friend. Scarnacho price is so low. Big up. I'm going to get into that. What would be good if would it be good if Qatar bias? Yeah, it'd be amazing, mate. It'd be amazing. At the end of the day, it would be amazing if Qatar bias, because Man United are not. Let me give you an example, right? If Qatar came in and cleared the debt, right, and got rid of the Glazers, and all our problems in regards to money have gone, right? Players that we don't need will be paid off to go, okay? That they'll be gone, right? Man United are self-sustainable. So if we had a billionaire like that in charge, who's willing to put his money where his mouth is, if we had a billionaire like that in charge, Man United get money organically. We'll be so rich. We'll be, even now we make money. We'll be so rich that all our money that we're making would go towards transfers. Tyberg, no born days when we are talking about United, great fun, and I'm grateful I'm part of it. Big up. Yeah, well, I'm just so disappointed in a lot of the fan base. You know, even now they're defending Ineos. They're defending, you know, these guys to the hill and back, even though we know that right now that they ain't the right guys for this football club. They haven't got the money for this football club, you know, and it's pretty evident, isn't it, that they're making all these cutbacks, etc. And it's disappointing. Another thing that Qatar wouldn't have done is made all those people unemployed, you know, which is true. Lucky Singh, I'm getting a Bremo. Tribal, me too. Want to be about where we would be, where would the media would be about Man United? That is what I want to know. If we are not owned by the Glazers, we will be competing at the highest level. If Ineos weren't around either, because they facilitated them, isn't it? They would have been gone already. CUNHA has just been announced. We got the first player in the door. No way. We wait until July and get it more. Yeah, absolutely. He's done. His medical is done. It's done. It's been done for a long time. But CUNHA will not join Man United, as I said, till July. He won't be playing for Man United until July, which is going to be our pre-season anyway. So that is what I said initially. Big up. I so agree with you. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment. Exactly what I said. And Alejandro Garnacho, let him go to Chelsea with about 45 million. No, that's too low. No, that's too low. Guys, listen, guys, stop this Garnacho 40 million thing. This is ridiculous. Tyler Dibbling, 60 million. You know, people got to look at this. Look, this is what the Ineos and Glazers want you to do. They want you to say that Garnacho's worth 40 million. Garnacho's worth 60, 70 million minimum. 38 goals and assists. The best young player in regards to goals and assists in Europe. And people, you know, guys, come on. You know, you guys, just I know you want to sell Garnacho. Whatever you want to do. You want to sell Garnacho. That's fair. Okay, fair enough. But we're not going to accept 40 million. That's an absolute stupid. That's stupidness. Selling for Garnacho for 40 million. You know, you guys just need to take a chill pill. You know what I mean? That's wrong, though, Charlie. We don't sell him for 40 million. That's bad business for me. Sal, do you care if Garnacho goes to Chelsea? I would care, yeah, especially for 40 million. Mason Mount, with all his injury records, 1 year left on his contract, went for 55 million. And we're trying to sell Garnacho for 40 million. You guys, man. Oh my God. I can't believe that. Like, you know what? At the end of the day, look, I know that a lot of people don't want him, but look, number one, we shouldn't be selling him to Chelsea, a direct rival to us. Number two, he shouldn't be going for 40 million at the end of the day. Why are we priced? Because we're owned by Ineos. They don't know how to negotiate. That's it. They just want quick money. Get me money in. Get me the money now. This is what they want. They want the money in. You know what I mean? They want it quickly. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Get the money in and that's it. 40 million. Who can you get nowadays for 40 million? At his age, Puskas winner, Argentinian international, Copa de Libertadores winner, and obviously all those goals and assists. Come on, guys. 60 million, man. No, stop this nonsense. You know, I mean, why is it only Man United players who go that low? Who go that low? It's ridiculous. Unbelievable. Even Southampton players are going for more than us. You know, look at Liam Delap. Liam Delap would have been £50 million if Ipswich didn't get relegated. That was his valuation. He would have been £50 million if Ipswich Town didn't get relegated. Madness. I think they are trying to turn red PCR into green. They sell Garnacho this window, 40 million. Yeah, it doesn't mean they can't get under. It doesn't mean they sell him for 40 million, mate. No, you get more than you can get more than that for him. You don't sell him for 40 million. It's foolish. I mean, because see, you're rich, Charlie. 60, 70 million for Garnacho is a realistic price. Exactly, Tyborg. Come on, man. You know, 40 million. You know what I mean? 40 million, guys. You can't get a Division 1 player for that much. All right, we want to sell him quickly, PSR. We could sell him anyway, 60 million. You know, there better be add-ons on that 40 million because at the end of the day, Chelsea will be laughing all the way to the bank. Show United, big up. Hindsight's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Definitely. But yeah, I wouldn't sell him for that price. Absolutely not. Little bit of news coming in about Manchester United and their backup plans in regards to the attacking third. Tyler Dibbling is still high on Manchester United's transfer wish list. And let's see how much Tyler Dibbling goes. Southampton player, of course, is highly ranked in regards to Ineos and their entourage. And Man United wouldn't mind making a deal for Tyler Dibbling should the deals for Mbeumo and other players not go through. So Tyler Dibbling could still be a Manchester United player. But watch this space. Tyler Dibbling, Southampton, relegation, you know, he will go for 50 million. Straight up, straight off the cup. And then where's the PSR? You know? Not my words. Oh God, actually, his value is 50. It's not value 50, 60. They put the value on him at 50. They're lowering his value. They're the one where that's why we've been so bad at negotiating. That's why we're so much in debt. You know what I mean? Deborah says, is it true that we are desperate for money, not them? The player could be a factor. Is it true not desperate for money, not them for the player could be a factor? No. 40 million is, you don't undervalue players. You don't undervalue assets that you get 100% profitability from. He is worth 60, 70 million. Everyone knows what he is worth. Unfortunately for Man United, they're lowering his price by, you know, just rumors going around and PR going around and things like that. It's ridiculous. Exactly, Natty. Exactly. 55 million was Mason Mount. 1 year left on his contract. Injury prone. Hip injury. You know, which all obviously has a knock-on effect. Come on. We got to wake up, smell the coffee. Yeah, because we put that value on him. You're looking at trans. That's not necessarily. That's the starting. Let me tell you something about transfer market, Yale. That is the starting value. That's the starting. That's where you start bidding. That's where the bidding starts. That's where the bidding starts. That's transfer market. We can all look on transfer market. He's not a 50 million player. He's a 60, 70 million. He's 20 years old. You know what I mean? Look at his goals and assists and stuff like that. Argentinian international. What other player? Look, you'll get Mastantuono and that going for that price. You know, who are not Argentinian internationals. Any players you would sign? Loads of players, mate. I mean, in Buemo, I want a Gutierrez. I want an Osman. I want someone like that. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I want these players. You know, but you know, we're gonna have to wait and see what happens, of course, guys. Guys, I want to talk briefly about Sesko. Benjamin Sesko, of course, has been lots of talk about Benjamin Sesko this week. Out of the blue, of course, I broke it on Stretford Post that Man United are looking to hijack the deal for Benjamin Sesko when he was close to signing for Arsenal. Man United are in talks with Benjamin Sesko's entourage in regards to a move to Manchester United. Now, Benjamin Sesko has just turned 22 years old, guys. As I said yesterday, 22 games, you know, 22 games, 13 goals in 22 games. Is that enough to be Man United's leading striker? Is that enough for Is that enough for him to be Man United's leading striker? Do you think that is enough for him to be Man United's leading striker? 13 goals in 33 games, 63 million. Come in the Bundesliga. That's what we have to look at. Absolutely. And Bremo have decided to ramp up the signings. Any news? Nothing at the moment. It is Sunday, so don't be surprised if there's going to be some news coming out tomorrow until Friday. Of course, the window is open now, so anything can happen, guys. The window is open, so you may see something happening this week. I hope so. Fingers crossed. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, we need more. We need to carry on. We need more. We need to get our players in before the preseason. Of course, the window was shut on the 10th of June and then reopened later on. And Garnacho, 60, 70 million. Exactly, Tamascan. Exactly. I can't. I mean, I think that we're just selling ourselves short again. You know, this is why we need to Qatar, guys. Exactly why. Market value does not mean we sell him for that money. Yeah, it means that we can get more from him. You know what I mean? That is the minimum of what he is worth. And then you can add what? Like market value for some places, 25 billion. Like we can probably get, you know, a couple of players in the door. For example, let me tell you an example. Okay, so a market value of a player, for example, Minter, all right? Yakuba Minter of Brighton and Hove Albion, right? Yakuba Minter, who we are linked with, is 30 million euros, right? He is not going to go for 30 million euros, right? From Brighton to Man United. He will go for 60, right? He will go for 60. Premier League proven, only 20 years old, you know, 10 caps for Gambia, 4 goals, smashed it last season. He will go for 60 minimum. You know, and that is what market value is. Why on earth are we going for Sesko when we can get less money for Gutierrez and Mata? I don't know, Natty. You have to ask Ineos that. I'm not the biggest fan of Sesko. I think Sesko is a good player. I don't think he's going to take Man United to the levels that I think that we need to be. You know what I mean? I would much prefer Gutierrez or an Osimhen or a Mateta. I think they'll be much more effective for Man United. Absolutely. I think Mateta's highly underrated, by the way. I think he's incredibly underrated when it comes to the impact he can have at Man United because of his... I just think he's a gem. I think he's a gem. I think he's one of those players that have come out of nowhere and absolutely smashed it. And I think he's a brilliant player. I really do. Absolutely. I think he's a really good player, you know. But what we got to do, we got to stop as a fan base hounding players out the football club. 40 million for Garnacho is hounding him out of the football club. That's hounding someone out of the football club. We got to get away from this mentality of selling players for cheap and kicking them out of the football club. You know, it's just like with the managers. We got to stop hounding managers out of the football club and falling for the same thing over and over again. You know, it's insanity. Grayo, good evening, good afternoon, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're well. 300 to 50 we like. So guys, thanks to you for smashing that like button. Thank you so much, guys. Let's get to 60 likes by the end of the show. Big up Grayo, the legend that is Grayo. Thank you so much. Big up Danny B, another legend in the chat. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well, Danny. Hope you're good. Good to see you, mate. So look, 40 million Garnacho is an absolute robbery. It's a robbery. And it will typify what Man United are, you know? It will typify what we are. Now, I've been spending all afternoon talking about Ineos. Of course, Qatar are still interested in purchasing Manchester United, according to various sources. Qatar, Sheikh Jassim Hamid and his entourage have not given up hope of acquiring Manchester United, despite pulling out of the deal in 2023, where Jim Ratcliffe purchased the club on a minority stake. Now, rumours around Old Trafford is that Jim Ratcliffe has been regretting the purchase of Man United and is thinking about the future in regards to the football club and whether he should sell his shares, and he should have just let Qatar go in for the kill and buy the football club from the dirty hands of the Glazers. Now, we all hope that Qatar can purchase the club. We all hope that. But what Qatar should do, what they should do, Sheikh Jassim Hamid was serious. If they really wanted this football club, what they should do is acquire the Regeneration Project land, buy it outright cash to all those businesses and block Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers' money-making project, which that is what it is all about at the end of the day. It is about their Regeneration Project. That is what they want. They're going to make a lot of money. They're going to make an incredible amount of money. So what Jim Ratcliffe, Sheikh Jassim Hamid should do, purchase that land, go for it, throw money at it, you know, and do that, and then stop them, block the Regeneration Project. That's what I would say. But it would be an absolute lifeline if Sheikh Jassim Hamid and his entourage purchase Manchester United and get us away from this curse that is the Glazers and the satanic ownership of Sir Jim Ratcliffe, guys. So that is what I would say about that, guys. And why I call it satanic, because I call it satanic because that is what he is. You know, he don't care about anyone, the poor. You know, he don't care about anyone he treads on. He doesn't give a damn about that. People who lose their job, people have mortgages and stuff like that. All he cared about is his vanity project. He doesn't care about this football club. I'll tell you that right now for free. Is it true that Mbeumo's decision is based on Champions League football? No, that's true, Natty. I spoke yesterday about it. Mbeumo is not, it's not the be all and end all in regards to his decision making. He does like the Man United project. He feels that, you know, bringing Man United to the top, back to the top, it's enticing, it's exciting to be that guy, to be one of them people who brought Man United back to the top of the tree. I mean, that's the kind of person I like. That's the kind of person I like. Someone who wants to play for this football club and wants to bring this club back, because he'd be old enough to remember when Man United were who we were, you know. So that is very interesting. That is very good. George, what's going on, my friend? Sal, why don't Qatar buy the development? Yeah, I just said it. George, great minds think alike. Big up, George. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. If Garnacho played for Brighton, Benfica, or Dortmund, 60 million at least. Danny B. Oh, Danny boy. Danny knows. See, Danny knows. Danny knows. When in doubt, ask Danny. Danny will know. He will tell you, mate. He will tell you for free. It would tell you if he was at Brighton, if he was at Dortmund, whoever he was, if he was at bloody Lecce, they would be, Garnacho would be. Imagine Garnacho was at Atalanta right now. We all know that if Garnacho was playing in France, playing for Atalanta, a team like that, right, playing in Germany, he'd be racking up the goals, right? And look, Sesko, £63 million. Sesko, 33 games in Bundesliga, 13 goals. £63 million, older than Garnacho. And we're gonna try and sell Garnacho for 40 million. It's just an absolute. What are we in, guys? Are we in some sort of third world a mentality in regards to how we're gonna sell things? It's what currency are we dealing with here? Do you know what I mean? It's bad. Tybo, coming from Germany, I've seen Sesko a lot, not good enough. Would be great as a backup striker, but Osman and Gutierrez, absolutely. But alone up front would be just another Højlund. Tybo, I heard something about Rasmus, about Sesko, about he scores really difficult chances, but he misses easy chances. Is this true? Because this reminds me of that. We need someone who is prolific. We need prolific. How do you say prolific? We need a prolific striker. That's what we need. He's not good enough, in my opinion. Absolutely. There's players, Danny B, in South America who are better than him. And that's what I would say. But why are we going after him? Is it just because Arsenal wanted him? What is it? Are we just copying everyone else? Are we not making our own decisions? In regards to Franco Mastantuono, he is in serious talks with PSG. Another one might bite the dust, guys. Another player that we want. Just like Extraverry, who went to Man City once, and just like Cherky, he's going to go to Man City. The likes of Franco Mastantuono could be going to PSG. Now, this is disappointing because I'm a big fan of this player, and I think this player would have been great at Manchester United. And unfortunately, we're just not moving quick enough to get these deals done. Our powers of persuasion are not working how they should be working. It's all gone. It's broken. It's broken. It's all gone. So there you go, guys. Definitely. Scary Terry, bloody hell, big up. Does this PSG side beat Man United in a treble winning team? No, mate. No one does, Scary Terry. And let me tell you why. Football has regressed, mate. Football has regressed. Football is not as good as it used to be. That team would not win the Champions League in 98, 99. Absolutely not. It wouldn't. Teams are too good back then, mate. I'll be honest with you. I'm a very honest guy, I think all the way up until about 2008, they wouldn't have won nothing in Europe. I think just now, football has regressed so much. This is why you can't find a decent striker around Europe these days. When I was growing up, there were decent strikers everywhere. Everywhere you look, there was a decent striker. There was a good player somewhere or another. You know what I mean? First, we have to buy players before selling. Then we can sell for more money. Big up, Natty. Big up. Kamara is a good midfield option, but it's still mystery if United is in contact with Monaco. True, Dabisas, good player. You underestimated that treble winning team? Yep, exactly. Not me. He's class, Dabisas. He is more like a developed Kone. Yep. Let's not totally ignore our young players here because we have got some good young players. Kone's playing in France, right? No, not Kone. Kamara's playing in France, right? Kone isn't made his debut for Man United yet. So I would like to see Kone get some game time next season. I really would. Been very impressed with him in this preseason, in the 2 games, the unnecessary games, of course. I've been very impressed with him, to be honest with you. Tybo, Sesko is a Bundesliga. Nunez always an easy target for banter because he misses some sitters. My granny would score. Still not a bad player, not just good enough to lead the line yet. And that's it. That's fair enough, Tybo. At the end of the day, if we're going to sign Sesko and Gutierrez, then you say, well, yeah, you know what I mean? But we're not going to do that, are we? We're going to use him as our main striker. And if we use him as our main striker, we're going to absolutely destroy him. Just like we destroyed Rasmus Højlund and other players like him, We need to have an experienced striker, someone who is proven to lead the line, someone who can score goals, relentlessly score goals. Big up, Tyborg. Big up, Donovan. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're good. Good to see you, mate. I think United 7-8 was a scary team to face. Second only to Barcelona 09. The 07-08 team beat Barcelona. It was the 09 Barcelona side came along, but I think Man United were unlucky to lose that game. But when Man United lost Cristiano Ronaldo, it was curtains, to be honest with you, in regards to the European thing, because Barcelona was just head and shoulders above everyone else. But I believe 2007, 2008, that was the best team in the world. 1998, 99 is my favorite team. I think that's the best team of all time. I think that 98, 99 team beats everyone. Even that Barcelona team of 09. That's my opinion. I think it does, because we didn't give up. We had so much in that team, so much, avenues and weapons in that team. It was incredible. Danny, CUNHA should go on loan to France. Be a good move for him. I think Sal. I would be worried about his development in the squad next season. Danny, I don't disagree. I mean, obviously he's going to find it very difficult to get game time in the Premier League, of course. So I wouldn't be opposed to him going to France. That'd be a good move for him in regards to that, definitely. France, Spain, Italy, Germany, somewhere like that, and build up his strength. I would like to see Chido as well go on loan. But at the moment, I'm looking at our strike force, and I'm looking at it and thinking that we haven't got enough firepower up front. So that is a big problem. What up, SLD? What's going on, my friend? Where is Agallo when you need him? Oh, I don't know, mate. Retired. You know what I mean? Retired, mate. Were you surprised how one-sided the Champions League final was? Yes. I don't think Inter Milan showed up. There's a lot of outrage in Italy at the moment. They didn't show up. Embarrassing for them. Very embarrassing. 5-0 in the Champions League final. Goodness me. Even United wouldn't lose 5-0. Sal, Aki, this Sonny, Gomez, David, would you? Aki of Bournemouth. Bournemouth Aki. Nathan Aki. That player came from Bournemouth, should I say. Nah. Sane, nah. Gone, finished. He's finished. He's injury prone as well. David, maybe. Donovan. I'm good, Sal. Big up, Donovan. Big up, my friend. Signing Sesko is not different to signing Delap. It is slightly natty. Delap has done it in the Premier League for Ipswich in a relegation fodder. So it's going to be harder for him to score. And he scored 12 goals as well, and, in younger as well. Well, it's relatively the same age, but, what I would say is that the Premier League is a lot different. It's more difficult. But Delap was never good enough to lead the line for Man United either, was he? Delap is never going to be the man to lead the line yet. Maybe a couple of years, but not now. So I forgot to mark Messi with the park. Yeah, he made a big mistake. David says, during that game, we were missing Fletcher in the second game. We missed Darren Fletcher. He got suspended after being red carded against Arsenal. In the first game, Jason Park should have stayed on Messi. And in the second game, it should have been the same. What Alex Ferguson did wrong, he tried to go toe-for-toe against Barcelona. He played Ryan Giggs in the middle against the likes of Iniesta and Xavi. And we all know that Ryan Giggs is not naturally, even though he can do that role, he's not naturally a centre midfielder. He was a left winger. So we really missed the plot. We missed the idea here. And when we played Barcelona in 07-08, when we beat them after 2 legs, and we would deserve to beat them, we missed the penalty in a new camp. We beat them 1-0 in aggregate. We played that game, a very tight, narrow, rigged kind of game, and we done it. And that's what we should have done in the final. The ego, I think, Alex Ferguson back then, I think he lost the final then, 2 finals. He didn't learn the first time. We let Messi get into those little pockets in space just between the defense and the midfield. And it just destroyed us. It was wrong. We played it wrong, definitely. We didn't play it. We played the occasion, not the game. So if Alex Ferguson in his time, do you think he'd be successful? Yes, mate. Yes. He'd be winning more league titles. Man United would have about 25, 26, 27 league titles by now. Even United would lose 5-0. A sentence that says so much. It does, mate. Man United will lose, Tybo. I know that. I'm not delusional, but Man United will lose 5-0. One thing you could say about Ruben Amorim is that we don't lose by many goals. Generally, we lose by 1-0. I felt that yesterday. What disappointed me about Inter Milan is that from the moment they kicked off, they just went back and froze. Right? There's one way in regards to playing the low block and trying to defend, but there's another thing where you're just freeze and you don't do anything. It's sad. Sometimes teams got to move on. If PSG didn't move on from Mbappe, they wouldn't be doing it. Absolutely, mate. And this is what Man United need to do. Look at PSG right now. They decided to get rid of their, best player in the world, Mbappe. Look what's happened to Real Madrid. Look what's happened to PSG. And then you look at guy. You like for example, you look at like my guy here, Scary says, Vicha Kvaratskhelia. Yeah, for example, right? Look at this, right? Napoli sold this player. And everyone thought that Napoli would decline. Napoli won the Serie A title, the Scudetto, right? Just because you sell him, your best player, and he does fit. I'm not saying that he doesn't fit PSG's side. He's done fantastically well. But just because you sell your best player doesn't mean it's over. And, you know, oh my God, like Bruno, we can't replace Bruno. We can't do that. We can't replace him. You know, this is the mentality that we need to get away from, you know? Who's his idol? King Clancy. It's a lady. Where are you in the whole Messi CR? Do you think Ronaldo doing it in England, Italy holds more weight? Yes, Scary. I think for me, I'll tell you one story. Let me tell you a story, guys. In regards to Ronaldo and Messi. Messi is the PR GOAT. Ronaldo is the actual GOAT. Because Messi done well at Barcelona. Other than Barcelona, didn't carry Argentina to a World Cup. There were players in that World Cup squad who'd done just as good, if not better. Even though I think that World Cup was rigged, right? I think CR7 is better because of it. He's done it in England, the hardest league in the world. He's done it in Italy. He's done it in Spain. And you know what? What can you say about that? That's enough for me. I'm not interested in he's won the World Cup. Pirlo won the World Cup. Kaká won the World Cup. They're good, just as good. You know what I mean? So, you know, why are they not deemed the GOAT? R9 won a couple of World Cups. You know what I mean? So why are they not deemed the GOAT? Because at the end of the day, club football, Cristiano Ronaldo is the GOAT. And I would say that. Big up, Rich. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, bruv. Hope you're good, mate. Some people compare Arteta with Enrique. Shame with them. Enrique's a great guy, great manager, and a great player when he was a player. Big up, big up, big up. He even cooked in Saudi, but that with a bad team that can't defend. Exactly. I watched Ronaldo live, and he was insane. We had a team there bursting with talent. Then Red Devils. I feel like Rich. Like I feel like, you know, it's like a dream. You know what we used to see week in and week out. We took it for granted. Honest to God. Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo. At one point, my goodness me. You know how exciting it was every single week to see these players every single week. You know how it felt that you just knew that we were going to win the game. You just knew that we would win the game, especially 2007-8. We're going to win. I don't care who you are. We're going to win. And that was what it is. Vidic and Stam at the back. You know, then you had the likes of Giggs and Scholes, the experienced heads on the bench, coming off the bench and stuff like that. Hargreaves was at the peak of his powers. You know, he was very highly underrated in regards to that. You know, then we had players like Anderson who were underrated, in my opinion. I do feel that. I thought they were underrated. Michael Carrick, again, what a player. You know, we had the player who can neat and tidy, can get the ball forward and stuff like that. And then up front, obviously, Tevez, Rooney and Ronaldo. Goodness me. Just such a good squad. Not to mention Van der Sar in goal. What a team. Goodness me. My point was with Rooney said Ronaldo still stood out in his prime. Absolutely. Ronaldo was just next level. He went on to absolute incredible things, you know, scoring 60, 70 goals a season for Real Madrid. Absolutely incredible. Garnacho thinks he's Ronaldo without the hard working part. Yeah, but that's this generation for you, Dabby says. This is where we go with this generation. This generation think that they've already made it before they've actually made it. Look at Kobe Mainoo with the contract situation, you know? Yeah, you got an England side. You've done well for 6 months at Man United. You've done fantastically well. But that doesn't mean you rest on your laurels and, you know what, underperform. You know, and then rejecting contracts and asking for 180 grand a week when you've not achieved anything. It's madness. Where will Sir Alex Ferguson be in the league with this current team? Because I'm yelling that no, it won't be 15th. Guys, a winner. Let me tell you something scary, Terry. Alex Ferguson wouldn't have half of that team in his team anyway. Alex Ferguson wouldn't have half of that. 3/4 of that team wouldn't be playing for Man United because they're not Man United players. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. People talk about he got the best out of players, but he got the best out of players that had a mentality. John O'Shea may not have been talented. Mentality. Wes Brown may not be the best right back, centre back in the world. Mentality. He got the best out of people who wanted to work. This team don't want to work, so they would have been out of the door. They would have been out of the door, straight up. That's what I would say. They would have been straight out the door. How do you feel about losing Joel Neves to PSG and getting Ugarte after winning that? I have nothing to say about that, Donovan. I think they're both very good players. I don't think the problems at Man United stem down to Ugarte. Just like I don't think that PSG being successful just exclusively boils down to Joel Neves. They're both different players, both very good players. Man United don't have a squad. Man United don't have a team, which is why we fought tooth and nail for Ugarte. They didn't want to sell him in the end, but they did. So if you had the power to bring back from the past, who would you bring? What would you bring? If you had the power to bring back from the past, what would you bring? In regards to Man United, what would I bring? A prime Sir Alex Ferguson. I would. Loan deals are good. Bring in a Celtic. Asna. Big up. Would have moved all our as well, Greece. They wouldn't even be there in the first place. They would have moved them on, Rich. We know, Rich. You've been there, I've been there. You know, a lot of these people don't have this, mate. I mean, look at Garnacho. I love Garnacho. I've got a lot of time for Garnacho, but at the end of the day, look, you know, the mentality would just want to be there. The only problem we had was like Roy Keane and things when they were mouthing off and stuff. But Roy Keane and that, they were leaders. They were winners. They're actually winners. Do you know what I mean? Alex Ferguson got rid of the likes of, Beckham and, Bruce and Pallister and, Kanchelskis and Hughes and all these players there that were serial winners, Paul Ince, and let alone these players that are playing today, ridiculous. It's mad, isn't it? He almost got rid of Schmeichel. There's a famous story about Alex Ferguson and the argument with Schmeichel, and Schmeichel said you can pack your bags and leave. But you're transfer listed. You're leaving to Schmeichel, because he answered back. Thanks, UK Rat. Big up yourself. Pep versus Fergie. For me, it's Fergie all day long, mate. Fergie didn't do it with a bloody wad of cash, and Fergie did it organically. Fergie made his own money as well. He made his own money. Roy Keane, definitely. He and CUNHA will make the soft players cry a lot. Absolutely. We could still get Roy Keane back. He'll be good in the dressing room right now, wouldn't he? I'll bring back Scholesy and Keno. Talent and character at the highest level. Tyberg, love it, bruv. I would love that as well. I would bring back the main man, Alex Ferguson, but Alex Ferguson in 98, 99 version of Alex Ferguson. So around that period, so he comes in, completely changes the whole atmosphere at the team, get rid of them all, boom, out the door, and that's it. More or less, Natty, but he won't play for Man United until the preseason. Anyway, we're not playing another game to the 19th of July against Leeds United. So, he will be playing in the friendlies. Yeah, he's signed for Man United. He's a Man United player. He's done his medical, I believe, and he is a Man United player. As I exclusively broke on here, he's going to take his medical. But he was at the Laurel Hotel in Manchester yesterday. So everything is going to be done, be dusted, and it's going to be put through quickly. Now, what's next? Where do we go from here? Are we going to move forward? Is there going to be another player coming in? We need to move on now. Move on to the next. Now, in regards to Casemiro has been linked with a move to Turkey. Galatasaray, Fenerbahce are both interested, of course, in moving to Turkey and getting Casemiro to Turkey, of course. Now, what do I make of this news? Casemiro to Turkey. Now, Turkey are not the teams to be spending 300,000 on wages. This is why I doubt the story. Now, this story was coming out the last 24 hours that he may go to Turkey. I'm not saying it's in the realms of impossibility, but I do think that if you look at Fenerbahce and you look at Galatasaray, you look at the way they've done business over the years, they haven't really splashed money on wages or, transfer fees. So, but would you get rid of Casemiro? Would you guys get rid of Casemiro? Would you sell Casemiro? Guys, absolutely. Now, the truth about Sesko. Now, I haven't brought this in. Sesko is a target for Man United, but Sesko is also the third target for Man United. Now, let me explain. The third target for Man United is Sesko. Man United want other strikers ahead of him, for example, Gutierrez and Osman. But Man United have backup plans, contingency plans, so to speak. And Sesko is that contingency plan. I would have felt that after the Delap thing went kerfuffle, right? If that is a word, after the Delap thing went kerfuffle, after it went down the pan, down the toilet, whatever, we would have had already a striker lined up. Done. Right, we're not him, we get him. We've done something like that in the summer when we didn't get Branthwaite, we ended up getting Lenny Yoro, of course. So we ended up getting Lenny Yoro, which was a good signing in the end. Lenny Yoro is a generational, of course. 49 more days on football. We should do all chill streams. Big up, Dabazas. I'm going to be doing some watch-alongs, Dabazas. Don't worry about that. I've got the England game coming up against Andorra. What a game. I've got that coming up, of course. I've done the obviously watch-along for the Champions League final yesterday. But we've also got the World Club Championship. That's going on right now as well. So I might do some games. But, it's good to have a little bit of a mental relaxation. Ibrahimo needs to be done by next week, or we won't go for getting it all. So, Danny B, I wouldn't say it's over till the fat lady sings. I wouldn't say it's over till Rafa Benitez sings at the end of the day. But if Man United don't get in between the 1st, which is today, and the 10th of June, it's going to be a little bit, you know what I mean? Hopefully Man United do get it. The window does reopen, by the way. But let's see what happens. We don't know, do we? JK will be very busy watching news. Absolutely. If we do not act fastly, we will lose for Bremo. I agree, Natty. If it goes, I consider keeping Casemiro for a leader in the dressing room, but he would have to be full 5th choice, Danny B. Yep. His wages are astronomical. I think that's what we're looking at the moment, the wages. His wages are ridiculous. We're looking at 350 grand a week for him. And that is, wow. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's a lot of money for him, in my opinion. Experience is a very good point. We do need experience. I think we do need experience in regards to, because we don't have any. We don't have any experience. So that is a good point. But what I would say is that we can make money from him. If we can get money from him, I would just let him go. I would just let him go, to be honest with you. Because we need the money, and he's getting on a little bit. Scary Terry, Anthony Martial, the next big thing, the future Ballon d'Or winner, future French football. Where did it all go wrong? Do you think he was lazy? Lazy, mate. Jose Mourinho said it, didn't he? He said that he's lazy. He said that some players, they get a little knock and they're out for months. Some players can play through the pain. He meant Shaw as well, Luke Shaw and Martial. Martial on his day was incredible, but when was his day? Watch along for the Cup fight, World Cup. I will be doing it, especially in the semi-final. I know there's a lot of weird games going on. There are some good games, by the way, but the timing's very strange, Natty. We're looking at 2 a.m. and things like that. We're looking at ridiculous time, ridiculous o'clock. But I am going to be doing some. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing the final of the World Club Championship. Of course, that's the thing about these tournaments being held in America. It just, you know what I mean? It just drives me mad. There is no way Turkey is financially strong enough to get Casemiro. I would keep him anyway for at least one more season. There you go. They're not financially strong enough to pay the wage. Absolutely not. That's why I doubted it. If we get a good offer, he has to go. Depending, yeah. How much would you sell Casemiro for? If he went to Saudi Arabia, it'd be like 50 million I would be asking for. 50 million? Easy. Definitely. That will go towards our transfer funds and stuff like that. Absolutely. No one is invincible, but obviously we don't have any experience in our squad at the moment. So that is a big, big problem. We need experience in our squad. We really do. And Casemiro is one of them. If we get rid of Bruno and Casemiro, where's the experience coming from? We're going to have a bunch of kids here, at the end of the day. And that is dangerous, of course, in regards to the Premier League, because the Premier League is difficult. It is difficult. So there you go. So look, Tyler Dibbling is another one you're going to be hearing from. Branthwaite, you're going to be hearing from these type of players you're going to be hearing about. Don't worry about that. They're going to come back into the fold, and people are going to be very, very annoyed about it as well. Trust me. And, there is a certain players that Man United are going to be chasing. Tyler Dibbling, for example, will be going for the same amount as Garnacho, which is 40 million. But Tyler Dibbling won't be going for 40 million. He'll be going for 50 to 60 million. And that is what I'm talking about, in regards to Garnacho. Tyler Dibbling is not worth 25 million pounds. He's not. Jengus, big up, Jengus. How you doing, my bro? Hope you're doing well. Natty, do you rate Dibbling? I rate him as a good player, but he's not a 50 million pound player like they're trying to quote. They're trying to quote us out of the bloody 50 million odd pounds for him, 40 to 50 odd million. Nah, man, move on from that. Move on from that. In my opinion, I think that's ridiculous. I mean, this is what I mean. And then we're trying to sell Garnacho for 40 million, 45 million pounds. Scandalous, man. Big up, Danny B. It's scandalous. Do you know what I mean? It's rude. It's just rude. Plain and utterly rude, in my opinion. Can't believe it that we would, I mean, when I saw the reports today, 40 million, I thought, what? Like just randomly, naturally, just pulling it in there, 40 million pounds like it was a nothing. Mad. Uncle Cass is going nowhere. He's going to mop that last 12 months' money right up. There you go, man. Good for him. It's not his fault. Memphis to buy. He's the next Ronaldo. Remember the fan base. Oh, God. Scary Terry. Oh, God, man. Memphis. Another guy who's got the talent, all the talent in the world, not got this. Now, there was a few players back in the Alex Ferguson days that I used to look at and think, why aren't we signing this player? Why don't we go after that player? Why don't we get that player? And then now, when you get older, you realize probably because they haven't got the mentality. Probably because they haven't got it. That Liverpool side in the mid-90s, right? The Liverpool side who wore the cream suits in the 95 FA Cup final. Great Liverpool side, right? Had more, that team would win the league right now. I say it right now, guys. Definitely would have won the league right now, right? They had like Collymore, Robbie Fowler, those type of players, right? Big players, big game players. A lot of those players, I would have liked at Man United, but they didn't have the mentality, just like it proved in that FA Cup final. When the going got tough, they couldn't do it against that Man United team, a young Man United team. And they couldn't consistently win. And they had the same problem that we were having, Who has more talent, Januzaj or Garnacho? Garnacho, mate. Definitely. Garnacho's got more strings to his bow. Turkey kind of thought, guys, they can to stick Fred and Amrabat. People forget this about last season, Jengas. People forget that Erik ten Hag had Amrabat, Anthony, Rashford, in the team. And Varane in the team. Those 4 players he had in his team, Erik ten Hag, and that team he had right there was his team. And now people are criticizing Ruben Amorim. He doesn't have those 4 players there. The only player he's had brought in is bloody Dorgu. And that wasn't his player. Madness. Do you think JP McManus and Magnia owned United would have a better debt-free and not in a situation to find itself? Probably, Donovan. I don't think we can get any worse than the Glazers, mate. Obviously, the Rock of Gibraltar and all that stories there about the horse racing with Alex Ferguson, and that absolutely effed us up tenfold, It was one of the worst things to happen to this football club. And we didn't know it back then. Of course, we did protest back then. Looking at it now is the worst thing to happen to one of the worst, apart from the Munich air disaster. It was one of the worst things to happen to this football club, on the pitch and, in regards to a business kind of thing. What I would say, awful. I wish we can turn back time. I wish I could talk to Alex Ferguson at that time, and try and persuade him, to not sell it to the Glazers. I know, if we could see the future, imagine someone told you in 2013, right, that Man United, right, will still be waiting for number 21 in 2025. Imagine someone told you that then. Imagine that. Ferguson ran him off. Yeah. Yeah, Glazers have sucked the life out of United. Absolutely, Donovan. Please, everyone, can you smash the like button, subscribe button? Big up, Grayo. You absolute legend. Much love, brother. Much love to everyone. Look, guys, it's going to be a very busy summer. I'm going to be getting down to the bottom, the nitty-gritty of the news. Of course, I'm going to Italy in July. I've got that coming up, and I'm going to be going to Qatar as well. So I'm going to try and get to the bottom of every single bit of news. I'm going to be busy, guys. I'm not going to be resting on my laurels, you know what I mean? And just chilling out and stuff like that. Absolutely not. I'm going to be busy, and I'm going to be trying to get the news to you guys as much as I can, like I did last year, of course, when I spoke about Dorgu and stuff like that, So, basically, I'm looking forward to it. And I just hope that, by the start of next season, we are ready. And we've got players, that I feel confident about. And we all feel confident that going into the new season. Hopefully, when the season draw comes in and we get an easy first game of the season. We don't want no Liverpool away or Arsenal away or something like that. Absolutely not. Absolutely. Glazer, Gimps, Scum, absolutely. GCF, big up GCF. Hope you're doing well. Why they sell the club to the Glazers in that time? All about. I mean, it was to do with horse racing, mate, and we just went with the buyer, and that was it. McManus and all that, it's to do with a horse racing, and they were the buyers to put the money. Well, they put a loan on the football. They put a loan in the bank and put the loan on the football club, basically. And used the profits of the football club to pay off that loan. They absolutely played everyone, didn't they? My biggest downer is basically Alex Ferguson never apologising about that or admitting it was the wrong decision. That's my biggest downer about that. I often think about how Alex Ferguson can come to the media, speak to the fans and say, look, you know what, the Glazers are wrong. The Glazers are bad. But, it just seems like everything that they say about Glazer, oh, they're nice people, oh, they're this, oh, they're that. And I'm seeing ex-players shaking hands with the Glazers and Jim Ratcliffe and things. It just drives me mad, to be honest with you. And, Alex Ferguson done a lot for this football club. He's Mr. Man United. You know what I mean? And, but that's not to say he made mistakes. And this mistake he made was basically crucial. It was a crucial mistake, the Glazer mistake, The scary thing is Liverpool have strengthened and they are looking to go back. The scary thing is Liverpool will dominate if we're not careful, Donovan. That's the scary thing. Liverpool will continue getting players in, good players as well. Look, we could have done with Frimpong, they're going to get Florian Wirtz, and they're going to get other players as well. They go with Kirkes, another player. They're just going to build up and be better. And what we doing? Resting on our laurels, hoping that we get a bargain. It's mad. Matheus Cunha signed, absolutely. Matheus Cunha is a Manchester United player, Kevin. Big up, Kevin. Hope you're doing well. Matheus Cunha is a Manchester United player. Man United are rushing this deal through the door. So hopefully, fingers crossed, Man United could go after other players, guys, so we can get other players through the door as well. Absolutely. Do you think PSG won last night with Kylian Mbappe? No, Scary Terry. I'm not saying they wouldn't have won last night, but I don't think they would have got to the Champions League final. That's what I'm saying, because I think they're more of a team now. I really do. Absolutely. Cunha is signed. Let me have a look at this. Cunha is officially a Manchester United player. There we go. First signing for Man United. Absolutely lovely. Matheus Cunha is a Manchester United player. Fantastic news. We already knew that anyway, but he is a Manchester United player, guys. Brilliant news for Manchester United, of course. From Fabrizio Romano, this. Here he is in the beautiful Man United colours, of course. That is Matheus Cunha, and a Manchester United player. Fantastic news. First player to come through the door at Manchester United, of course, guys. First signing. All documents signed after a 62.5 release clause has been triggered earlier this week. Fantastic. Any news about his squad number or anything like that? Nothing to do with his squad number. Welcome to Manchester United, Cunha. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant news, guys. Matheus Cunha is a Manchester United player, and as expected, guys, as expected. Of course, big up Jengus, my friend. He's now a Manchester United player. Tyberg, big up. Ferguson got played millions, even in retirement from the Glazers. He was never speaking out. That's the problem. He didn't, money talks, money talks. Dirty money without you, dirty money. That is what Alex Ferguson was, you know what I mean? Absolutely. JCF, Fergie would never admit it. Far too stubborn. Defo part of the fault, though, to see Rio and especially Scholesy shaking their hands, sickening. I done a short video, JCF, of that on my stream. Check it out. What my feelings were on that. It's disgusting. It makes me lose all respect for them. I'll be honest with you. It makes me lose all inkling of respect I had for them. Absolutely. Someone said, yeah, it's been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, mate. He's a Man United player. They are making spin and they want missing out with money signings for a few weeks. Cunha looks great at Wed. I agree. Cunha would suit the number 10. If he gets the number 10, Jengus, that's the end of Marcus Rashford, isn't it? That's the end of Marcus Rashford. If he gets the number 10, that's the end of Marcus Rashford. Fabulous. know what I mean? Kill two birds with one stone. Why don't we do that? Absolutely. Splendid. So first one's through the door. CUNHA is a Manchester United player. Fantastic news. Yeah, great news. First one. Hopefully the first of many, guys. Hopefully the first of many. I really do hope so. I hope he is the first of many. I really do. Absolutely. Just reading some things on here. Yeah. Nothing on in regards to the wages yet. Scary Terry, what do you think of Manchester United's new stadium when it's built? I'll tell you one thing, and I'm going to be honest with you, Scary Terry. I couldn't care less, mate. I think it's really disappointing that we have to move away from Old Trafford. This is because of the Glazers that we have to move away from Old Trafford. If we had Qatar, we wouldn't have to move away from Old Trafford. It would have been refurbished, rebuilt at Old Trafford. They're only building that stadium there because of the regeneration project that they want. I don't particularly think the stadium looks nice. I think it looks like a mess, a circus. I would much rather, excuse me. Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit, which is the Glazers. You know, basically, what I would say is that I would much rather Man United be successful on the pitch than worry about £1 billion stadium. You know, that's what I would say about it. You know. So who's going to be our next signing? We'd have to wait and see. Hopefully in Bremo. Someone like that. So hopefully Gutierrez, Osman in Bremo. We can all dream, right? We can all dream. Hopefully it does. Hopefully we do get one of them through the door. A strong message needs sending to Rashford. Barca hoping he get tight. Barca only want him on loan, isn't it? Last time I heard. What's your opinions on Mark Goldbridge? Him being the biggest United fans on here. Congratulations to Mark Goldbridge. Great guy. Good person. I've known him for 7 years. Spoke to him many times. You know, he's a good person, and I wish him all the best. He's I mean, subject to unpopular belief, but he is one of the most realist, most balanced pundits, podcasters there is. Content creators there is. I have nothing but love for the guy. And that's it. You know, and that's what I would say. Yeah. Met him a couple of times. Well, he's a good guy. United should have both, Sal. We shouldn't have both between the stadium team. Yeah, but we shouldn't be moving away from Old Trafford either. You know, we're only moving to that part of the city because it's the regeneration project that they want. They want the area, you know, and that is what I think. We're moving away from Old Trafford. This shouldn't be taken lightly and just brushed off like this. Like, you know, this isn't Usher here. Pop your collar. This isn't that. You know what I mean? This is Old Trafford we're talking about. If we had Qatar, you know, we won't be moving away from Old Trafford. I've seen a graph showing 800 million debt from 2005 after the Glazers took over, and the debt is it's over $1 billion as well if you add on the players as well. What they have, they're getting away with. Absolutely. Been getting away with absolute murder. They've been getting away with murder. Absolute murder. Definitely. Big up, Randy. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is cool with you. Good to see everyone in the chat, of course. Big up, everyone. Thank you, guys. Look, you know what? It is an absolute mess, and we know it is an absolute mess in regards to the Ineos and, Jim Ratcliffe and all those guys there. It is a terrible thing what's going on right now at this football club. And, you know, this summer is a very, very telling summer. It is one of the biggest summer, if not the biggest summer in our history, in my opinion. And I really do hope they prove me wrong. And I hope that they go out there and they start winning, guys, you know, and start bringing those players in, you know, winning those deals and start bringing those players in. I hope they can do that. I really do hope that we move on and, you know, and we sign some good players. Smash the like, speaks, big up. Ian, thank you so much, you legend. Thank you, Ian Barron. Big up, Ian. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the subscription. Really appreciate that, mate. Really, really appreciate that. Big up everyone, of course, who's joining the channel. Big up everyone in this ever-growing community, guys. The best community there is, guys. I know it's a small community, but we're growing such a great community here, guys. We don't always agree, but you know what? It is all about one goal, which is getting Man United to the promised land again. That's what we want at the end of the day, isn't it, guys? That is exactly what we want, guys. Guys, thank you everyone who's joined me today. Absolute legends. Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let's have a read of this. Ian, I'm a Darlington fan. I've been to Darlington. I've done a performance there in the town centre. Remember us back in the day, memories, Darlington. I do remember Darlington. I do. I'm from Leighton, Ian. So originally I'm from Leighton. So Leighton Orient used to host Darlington many a time, Ian. So I do know who Darlington are. And yeah, I do remember them pretty well, you know, absolutely. Yeah, big up, Ian, and welcome to the stream. Your opinion is welcomed and respected, my friend. Big up. The project must be stopped somehow. Do you know something about it? I'm going to try, mate. Absolutely. What we need to do is what Qatar need to do is they need to buy that regeneration project from the hands of them, from the midst of their greasy hands. Qatar need to buy it from them. And that's what they need to do to stop that regeneration project. United is the most supported team around the world. Absolutely, it is. Absolutely. Guys, absolutely. Guys, big up everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn if nothing else breaks. CUNHA is a Manchester United player, confirmed 100%. He will be starting pre-season in July, and his first game will probably be the 19th of July against Leeds United in the friendly, guys. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day, great weekend, rest of it, whatever's left of it, and I shall see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn, guys. Thank you very much. Cheers.